Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I'm the admin here at Cricut for Beginners on Facebook. I just wanted to go over a quick tutorial on the slice feature down here on your Cricut Design Space. I've been getting a lot of questions about slice. It can be confusing, especially for a newbie. I was a newbie at one point and really was lost on a lot of things. But I figured it out, and I hope that this will help you to figure it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these just simple shapes. I'm just playing while I'm talking to you here, but I'm going to take these simple shapes and show you how slice works and how to use slice properly. Now, so that you can see things easier, I'm going to change the colors of these shapes. This one, I'm going to do green, and then the circle I've got in white. So that way you can kind of see things better. And I think I'll change also the background color and then remove these stripes here, the canvas color. Let's see, I'll go with blue. Okay, now everything should be clear enough that you can see quite well. I'm going to make this a little bigger as well. Okay, so let's say you're going to make a banner. Doesn't matter what color it is. I'm just using green for an example. I'm going to make this circle a little smaller. And I'm going to duplicate it because I'm going to need 2 holes in this banner so that I can put a string through it. Alright. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these circles exactly where I want them. So I'm going to click and hold and drag to highlight everything. Alternatively, you can just click select all. And then I'm going to align stuff at the top. Align top. And then in order to make sure that these are equally spaced, I'm going to click one of the circles, hold down shift, and then I'm going to select the triangle. And you see how the circle here is highlighted in your layers panel and the triangle is highlighted here in your layers panel, but the other circle isn't. That means you're working with just 2 items. And now I'm going to go to align, and I'm going to align that one left. Okay. And now I need to select my triangle, hold down shift, and select the other circle. And I'm going to align it right. So I don't want the circles cut out here, but in order to get these just right, I know I can use my arrow keys on my keyboard and click the right arrow 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then 1, 2, down. Same thing over here. I'm going to click it 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then 1, 2, down. This way you know that they're even and evenly spaced and aligned at the top. Exact. Okay, so before you slice anything, you want to make sure that it's exactly the way you want it, because once you slice, there's no unslice. You can undo, but I mean, that only works so well. So now I'm going to select all, and I'm going to show you something. This is the thing where people are getting confused. In Cricut Design Space, if you select all 3 of these, it highlights them over here in the layers panel because they're all selected. And your slice feature is grayed out, and that's because you can't slice 3 items at once. You have to do it 2 at a time. Okay? So in order to do that, I have to click on my one white circle, hold down Shift, and then click on the green triangle. Alright? And now over here in your layers panel, you've just got two things selected. This third thing is not selected. It's not going to be affected by the slice. And you can slice it, weld it, and attach it, or flatten it. But we're going to slice it today. So just click Slice. And notice what happens over here in the Layers panel. What happens is you have, instead of the 3 circles, now you've got, or instead of the 3 items, you've got 4. You've got the green circle that was cut out from your green triangle. It's just like with paper. When you cut something out, you're going to have that piece. So do what you want to with it. I'm going to delete it. What the heck is going on? I'm going to delete it. And then you won't need this one anymore because you've got another one just like it. Now, we can delete that one. See, I've got my circle now. You can see the blue through it. But what happened to this circle? It's gone. Can't find it. That's because it's behind your green triangle. Anytime you edit an item or a layer image in Cricut Desgin Space, it brings it to the top. So in front of everything else. Now I have to push that back. Now, in order to rearrange your layers, you go up here to Arrange. Click that little button and it says Send to Back. Send to Back. So now I can see my white circle again. Now, there's only 2 items in my Layers panel. I can select all now because this is already a hole. It's part of the triangle, so there's 2 items. And I can slice now. Same thing that happened before happened this time. Now I've got, instead of 2 items, I have 3. Now, I can delete these. I can keep them. I can hide them. Whatever. I'm just going to delete them. And that's Slice. So now, if I wanted to do this as a banner, I could duplicate it however many times I needed for the letters, cut it out as a solid piece, or I could do a print to cut. That's another lesson. But right now I'm going to just delete that because I'm going to go over a different image. Let's say you find an image that you like, but there's something to it that you don't really like. This is a file that I made for y'all, I think last week. So what if you just decide you don't want something in this? Well, for one, I have this grouped. I don't know if you noticed, if you've used it or whatever, but you can ungroup that now. And then you can hide the layers that you're not wanting to work with, okay? Let's say I don't want the word just in here. I can cut that out because this is not a grouped. These aren't grouped. They're not grouped per letter or for words. It's all one image. But I can slice that out. So the way you do that is you just get you a square, whatever shape you want, if it's a different shape. And it's not quite long enough, and it's a little too long. So I'm going to change the sizing of it. Just big enough to cover that word. Lock it back. It's not really necessary to lock it back, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I can select all because I've hidden the other 2 items on this design, and because I'm not needing to work with them, I can hide them, and when I select all, it's just selecting those 2 because it's the only thing on my canvas. So then you can click Slice. And now you have the word you cut out. Don't need that. You've got the square with the word cut out of it. You don't need that either. Now, you can either delete this word right here, or you can just hide it. I'm just going to hide it. And now I'm going to make these two other things visible again. But it got moved around. So I'm just going to move it a little bit. And I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to align it. So now I've got, instead of just a little sassafras, I've got a little sassafras. And I'm not real happy with the way that looks, so I'm just going to move things around a little bit. Now, if I were to go ahead right now and click Make It, let's see what's going to happen. So Cricut Desgin Space sees these as individual images, the leaf, sassafras, and a little. And it's just jumble them all up. How can we fix that? Cancel the cut. Because on my canvas, it doesn't look like that. It looks nice and centered and exactly the way I want it. Well, maybe not. Lift this up a little more. How do I get that to cut out as one image on one mat exactly the way it shows me on this screen? Okay, you select all and attach it. You can weld it too, but once you weld, you can't unweld. But if you attach, you can detach down here. Now, if I go make it, it shows up as one item exactly the way I want it. I don't have to place anything around or manually move things at all once it's cut. All I have to do is just continue and pick my material and then cut it. Got a little bit into another lesson there, but I think that's necessary because I know that when I first started working with Cricut Desgin Space, it was so confusing. And I hope that my tutorials will help everyone that will watch them to understand how things work on Cricut Desgin Space. Y'all have a good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time of day it is there, and I will check in on y'all later today and see if anyone has questions on this tutorial. Thank y'all so much.